up, everybody? It's April Dawn. I'm back at you with another DIY video. So I've been redecorating my room and I was looking at these beautiful chenille yarn blankets that I cannot afford, honey. They are $300 to $500, and so I decided to make one myself. I watched a couple of videos and you know, this is what I came up with, so I decided to share with you guys. So here's my inspiration piece. This is a picture from Amazon. It's about $133 to about $500, and I used four and a half spools of thread from Walmart. And what you want to do is you want to make a slip knot, and you want to start pulling the working yarn through the slip knot to create more slip knots. And you're going to create a chain of slip knots. Now you want to make sure that these are all the same size because you don't want any big gaps in your blankets. And so, you know, I just continue to make it, and it's going to make like a foundation row for our situation, honey. So it's going to be kind of like the anchor row for everything else. So you can see me gathering and getting my stuff together, honey. I'm getting it together. Get it together, girl. Okay. So I did have some big gaps in mine, not huge gaps, but you know, it's hand-sewn. It's not going to be perfect. So, you know, don't stress yourself out about the knots being exactly the same size, you know. I'm assuming that it will get better as I go along, guys, you know. I'm just, you know, I'm learning. We learning and we growing, honey. Okay. So as you can see, I'm just continuing to make slip knots inside of each other. When you get to the ends of the row, you're going to make a slip knot in that last hole on the end, and then you're going to go behind it with the working yarn and then start on the next one creating a slip knot, as you'll see me do right here. So as you can see, I keep going back to check, and you know, that's how much I got so far. So I'm slip knotting on the end, right? I've created a slip knot on the very end, and now I'm going to go underneath with my yarn and go to the next one and create another slip knot. So now we're making a new row. And when you get down to the other end, you're just going to loop that end that's hanging off into the rest of it. So it's creating another braid down the side. Okay. So however many slip knots you do the first time is going to be the width of your blanket. So you want to make sure you use, I used another throw to measure up against when I was making it, to make it similar in size. So I can't tell you exactly what size I made it. I just used the throw that I had to measure out the width and the length. But as you can see, I'm just going down the line and I'm making more slip knots, and it's just slip knots, y'all. Literally just slip knots. It gets kind of confusing if you try to make your knots too little, especially with this yarn, because, you know, it just looks like a big, you know, clump of knots you can't see. So you want to make the loop big enough to where you can see the hole. It's easy for you to find it. You're not getting, you know, thread or yarn all lost in a knot because you can't see where, you know, the hole is for you to make them slip knots. So I'm just going down, continuing to make more slip knots. Now there are some patterns that, you know, the yarn doesn't go behind, it goes in front of, and it creates like, you know, a different pattern where you can see the knot on the top, like if you flipped over the blanket. But that's up to you. You know, people create shapes and patterns, but child, I ain't got time for all of that, okay? I'm just making this the first time. I'm just trying to see how it's gonna go, baby. They also have a much more expensive yarn that you use to make this. Ooh, child, $29, $39 for one bundle, one little spool of thread. So this is what I got with one bundle or one spool of yarn. I got about this much out of it. To connect them, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one end, I'm going to tie it to another end, and I'm going to clip it and then maybe even put a little glue to make it extra secure. If it was a different color, I would maybe just loop it in. But because it's not a different color, I'm just going to tie them together. I'm going to snip the end off, and I might even put a little glue in there just to make it extra secure. This is what I got with one whole pack. And this is what I got when I was done. This is a close-up look. Take a good look. Yeah, it looks good up close, pretty good. I think I did okay. And on the bed, looking pretty good. So one thing I did want to say is that when you go to close it up, now I didn't record this part of the video, and it's probably the trickiest part because I had to do it like several times before I got it right. So it's basically you take that last loop and you put it on the top of the next loop, and then you pull the working thread through, and then you start connecting loops and pulling the working thread through. So I'm going to put a link to the video that I watched to help me do it so you can figure out that ending part. It is kind of tricky. That's the trickiest part about the whole thing, is because it creates a braid down the side. But the way this woman does it is really simple, and she explains it, and you know, you can get it. So yeah, I didn't record that part of the process because I was so busy trying to figure out how to do it, guys. But this is how it came out. I really like the way it looks. You tell me what you think about it. I'm thinking about doing another one in a different color. And child, my friend is having a baby, so a blanket for her baby, and you know, a scarf, honey. Let me find out, okay? I done learned how to finger crochet. All right, let me know what y'all think about my little DIY. I'll holler at y'all next time. Peace.